Have you been considering an embroidery machine? Well, this is the video for you.
Single needle, multi-needle, or maybe a combo machine? There's a lot of choices, but we're gonna break them down for you now.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's Boki and Shannon here today, and we're gonna go over embroidery machines and everything you need to consider when purchasing a machine. Whether you're a beginner or a little bit more experienced, this is gonna be the video for you. Today's video is gonna be podcast style. We're relaxing, we're chilling, lots of organic conversation. So feel free to watch this video as you sew, as you tidy around the house, or if you're just comfy on the couch.
I am so excited about this podcast. I think today, by the end of the video, we're gonna really break down all the things that you should be thinking about, even if maybe you're not. So what type of machine to get, maybe what kind of projects you want to do.
What can embroidery even do? What can I even make? You know, I think there's like a really small circle about what we think embroidery can do when it's like actually ginormous.
I think it's gone are the days that the embroidery machine can just do maybe monogramming. There are so many things that I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yes, we'll hit on some of those things too to just get your creative juices flowing. But there's so many things to consider. Budget, where do I buy? Do I need something that just has one needle, or do I need 7 needles? Do I need something smaller,
what does that mean?
Bigger? Yeah, what does that even mean? What do you mean? Why would I need 7 needles? So we'll do all that.
I think by the end, you should be an expert, and you really should have a better understanding of what you need, and of course, maybe
what you can buy. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know a little bit about who we are. So this is our Janome Junkies YouTube channel, and we are actually a family-owned business here in Brandon, Florida, and we sell Juki and Janome machines. So if you have either one of those, you can head over to Juki Junkies on that channel too to see what we got going on there too. But we are all about customer support and putting you on the right machine. Hence why we're making this video today, to give you that guidance and reassurance into making that confident decision to your next embroidery machine. So we've brainstormed a bunch of things and kind of broken it down into like 3 main topics that have like kind of like little subcategories in them. So the 3 things you're really going to want to consider, and we'll dive deeper into those. Number 1 is going to be identifying what you want to do with it. What are your plans? What are your goals? What are your dreams, ambitions?
That's right.
That's like the first one, right? Second's definitely going to be knowing your options and limitations. So like Shannon mentioned, single needle, multi-needle, or combo machines. Just really knowing like what is available to make a confident decision.
That's right.
And then number 3, which is a really important one for me and just how we always sell machines here, is budget. What you're comfortable with spending and how that plays in with what you need.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll add a bonus.
What's the bonus?
Bonus is the dealer that you buy the machine from.
That's so important. That should be like number 1.
I think so, because oftentimes if you are buying an embroidery machine, especially if you're a beginner.
Right, like you're so new to it.
You're so new, you're gonna have questions. You're gonna have questions on maybe how to work the machine.
Yeah, not just the machine, but like other things like, hey, what stabilizer do I use for this project? What needle do I use for this project, do you guys? So the thread I need for this machine.
And what do they get when they get us?
All of that.
They
get all the help.
And then some.
And then some. Yes, and then some. So that's really, really important. So let's talk about identifying what you want to make with this machine first. Like we mentioned, embroidery is not just monogramming, towels, shirts,
quilt
logos,
labels.
you know, like all the little stuff. Think big picture here. Shannon's done some really cool sew-alongs on our Janome Junkies or Juki Junkies channel, and there's so many fun things you can do. In the hoop is like a whole other world.
There's
like so many things.
Really, and one of the biggest questions is, just to backtrack a little bit, is what do you think you're going to make today?
Right.
And then what do you think you're going to make maybe once you get a little bit more comfortable with the machine? And so you mentioned in the hoop designs, and I think a lot of folks don't know that there are so many designs that you can do in the hoop, from zipper totes to plushies.
Cool. Yeah, it's stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals. I mean, and the list just goes on. So I'd love for people to kind of search the web and see what other projects are out there within the hoop, because I guarantee you, once you master sort of the fundamentals of how your embroidery machine that you select, how it operates and how she runs, you're gonna like gain that confidence, and you're gonna be like, oh, now I want to do that. And then maybe the machine you have may or may not be able to do that project.
Exactly.
So we'll probably talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really, really good point. So it's really important to kind of figure out, and if you want to keep it very basic too, that's totally okay.
That's right.
If you don't want to venture out into all these things, you don't want to do hats, you don't want to do clothes, you don't want to do logos, that's totally okay too. That's why we got to start with that question first. Like, what do I want to do? Do you really know what embroidery offers? Because then that kind of presents what do you want to do. So really important things. And then another thing that's really important is where are you at? Like, are you a beginner? Are you experienced? Maybe you already have an embroidery machine at home and you're looking for that next step. You want to make those hats. You want to do sweatshirts and maybe baby clothes or something else.
Or maybe just ramp up your production.
Right. Maybe you already have something and you're like, wow, I need something a little better. I need to be a little more efficient.
Better motor.
Yep. A little bit faster, a little bit more growth, right? So that also presents hobby versus business, right?
That's right. That's
so
right.
where do you fall? A lot of us are probably just in hobby, but embroidery opens up such a big door for a business.
Truth be told, once somebody probably in your close-knit community, your neighborhood, finds out that you embroider, I promise you,
ring, ring.
You will get people that will want things monogrammed, names added to totes,
logos.
T-shirts.
I mean,
it just goes on.
It's just so fun. Everybody wants that. Just think about like an event like a wedding, right?
Yeah.
Just saying bride, groom, bride squad.
Yeah,
you
little
know, like,
napkins are very on trend right now.
Yeah.
You can put the initials on.
It's possibilities are literally endless.
Yep.
So those are things to consider. Shannon's story always is my favorite story because she started out super new to embroidery. Brand new, but was very excited and ambitious to do. She had a goal. She knew what she wanted to do. And then here we are much later and she has 2 multi-needle machines. And so tell me a little bit about your thought process about thinking about that and like knowing what you wanted to go towards, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel like that.
Yeah, and not everybody's going to follow my journey. When I came into Gigi's fabric shop,
That's so long
I feel
ago
like
too.
it was probably 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It was actually in this location. Now that's our warehouse. And I came in looking at a multi-needle because I knew once Boki showed me the ropes, which you did a fantastic job.
So
I still
funny.
have the video.
So long ago.
I knew that I was going to elevate where I wanted to go pretty quick. My goal was to do markets and Etsy eventually, and I ran that first machine, which was an NB7, like a horse. I mean, she immediately, right away, and I'll tell you, going back to customer service, I remember I went straight home and I embroidered a bunch of projects, and I had Gigi's number. I mean, that's how good our service is. And I was texting her to ask her, does this look good? Am I doing this right?
Sweet.
And I went off to the races, and I never looked back. That evolved to cubbies or stuffed animals, and I started doing a lot of monogramming, and then I needed a second machine. And I remember Gigi telling me, once you get this machine, you will get another one.
It literally never fails. We have so many customers that happen to. They had one lady, she was working full-time, her 9 to 5, got a multi-needle embroidery machine, was doing logos for school. And she became the lady for that, right? And then like Shannon said, the word gets out. She starts getting the calls. She had to quit her 9 to 5, buy a second machine, and do that full-time, and has a staff and makes her living off of that. And it's so flexible.
Yeah, I mean, there is a living to be made.
Definitely.
If you're smart about what you do, for sure.
Absolutely.
Purchase that second multi-needle, Juki Tajima Sai. The large part of why I got that, because I already had a multi-needle, was because I wanted to do hats. And we'll talk about that later, but hats was really, they're everywhere, and I sell more hats today than I ever thought I would.
Oh, that's so cute.
But again, that's why I really got that machine.
Yeah, no, of course, that makes total sense, and we'll dive into that so you kind of understand, because there really is quite a lot of options when it comes to embroidery machines, machines that are just dedicated to them, machines that offer both regular sewing and embroidery, and then like Shannon was mentioning, these more commercial style machines where there are multiple needles, they handle multiple colors and things like that. So we'll talk about that too. But another thing you need to ask yourself too is like how comfortable you are with computers and technology and this learning curve that comes with embroidery machines. And that's not to scare you, but just to get your mind understanding like the process of embroidery.
That's right. That's right.
Just, it doesn't have to be scary, but like you got to know if you're feeling comfortable for that challenge.
Yep, and I would break it down in a couple of different ways. One is the single needles and even the multi needles, but in particular the single needle. You can do a lot of text right there on your designs, which is fantastic. But once you start moving in and you want to do some custom words or phrases, you may need some sort of software. But the other flip of that is when it comes to computers, you need to be open-minded to learn how to download designs, put them on USBs, and how that works with the machines. And it's a learning curve. But once you get it, you get it. And
exactly, just like anything. I mean, really, even with regular sewing machines, when you buy something, or if you're buying a new computer or you're buying a new phone, it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to it. But with the right attitude, you'll figure it out really quickly. And with the right support and help, it makes the whole process a lot smoother. So with all that in mind, that kind of brings us to number 2, taking what you want to do and understanding where you want to go with it. What are your plans? Where do you want to go? Do you want to kind of go Shannon's approach? Do you want to go in and you know you want to do markets, you know you want to sell, you know you want to make things of that caliber to that degree where you can make some money off of it? Or are you cool with just having something fun at home, making something for the grandkids, making something for yourself, just having something to break away? I like embroidery because it's like sewing, but it's different enough where if you get burned out from sewing, you can go embroider and it's fun. It's like something new.
And that's why I always say it's a nice addition to your sewing room for that reason.
Yeah, and it's going to add so much like personal elements to things. And think about making a project in the hoop. It's so fun. So I love Shannon's idea that she gave me actually today when we were talking about this video. She said, I had a customer who really wanted the Janome 500E, and I sent her a website to, I think it was Designs by Juju, and she was looking at the designs to just know what else was out there, what else she could do. I think that's a great way to be exposed to the embroidery world because it's so much more than towels and monogramming. So do that too. Do some research into websites that actually sell designs because it's so much more than what the machine offers. It's a whole nother door. So you got to think about that.
And my build on that would be, as we talk about limitations, embroideries, besides sort of the motor and maybe the designs and the fonts that come with it, is the size of the hoop. Right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so that's
limitations.
That's a big one. Most of the time, when you choose a machine, you're choosing the machine based on the largest hoop. So you can't buy a machine, and if the largest hoop, I'll just say, is an 8x8. You can't go aftermarket and buy a hoop larger.
That's your limitation, your maximum that machine offers. So that's huge into understanding those differences between single, multi, and double. Hoop size is a big factor into that. So if we break it down to the 500 and the 500E, Janome offers all options, combo, single, and multi-needle options. So single needle options are going to be one needle, just as it sounds, like the 500E, 550E, some of the older models. There's also the 400E at one time. So all those machines just have one needle, and it's a flat bed, meaning there's no, like when you compare it to your machine at home, it has a free arm cover that pulls off so you have a smaller space to work with. It doesn't have that. It's just a flat bed, and the hoop goes on that way, right? So like that machine's biggest hoop size on the 500E, I believe, is about 8x12. And then the 550 is
7.9 by 14.2.
So that difference,
I mean, if you think about a large design, a large denim jacket, if you're doing end-to-end quilting,
that's a big one. That's always what I tell customers. If that's your goal, end-to-end quilting, that is the machine to go because those couple extra inches are going to save you from having to hoop several extra times.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So that's something to look at. And then the limitation with single needle machines is going to be it's a flat bed like this table, right? So if you want to do baby clothes, which is our perfect example, baby clothes are sweet and tiny and intricate and delicate, right? So imagine trying to hoop that and then put it on the machine because when you're doing an embroidery, you just want the embroidery to be on one layer, not all the layers, right? So it has to get maneuvered into the machine very delicately so it just goes on the one layer, not all
you have to kind of move everything out of the way. And probably a onesie you could do it. And we always say, like, you can do it, but it's not really meant for
that all the time.
That's
why you got to figure out what you want to do. Because if you want to get into that, that's not going to be the best choice. Now, larger articles of clothing like sweatshirts, jackets, things that you have a little bit more surface area to work on, that's definitely going to be easier for you. But again, deciding what's the goal, you know, and that might be a great place to start. Also for the people who just want to do quilt labels. Or, you know, even in the pouch projects, that's not a problem on that machine too. It's a great place to start. But again, going back to what you want to do.
Yeah, it really comes down to that, I think.
Yeah, so comparing that to a multi-needle machine, a multi-needle machine is going to have several needles. We sell both Juki and Janome, and Shannon has one of each. So Janome offers a MB4 and the MB7.
That's right.
4 needles or 7 needles.
Which means,
yes,
if you're brand new, that means you get 4 threads. So if you think about a single needle machine, you get 1, and when you have to do a change color, you have to change that spool and then do it again. A multi-needle means that you can have 4 threads set up and ready to go. You may still need to switch out depending on the color changes that you have in your design. MB7 is 7.
7. So it even opens up the door bigger.
And then we have a Juki Tajima Sai, and it's 8. And I know there's a lot of machines out there that have 10 and 12 and 16, but usually the sweet spot is gonna be between, I think, 4 and 8.
I think so too. Yeah, I definitely agree. Again, it just depends on the person. You might not need 10 needles, and maybe that's way too much for you. 4 is sometimes just enough. Like my customer I was talking about earlier that does logos, she does logos, and ideally logos are not more than like 2-3 colors. So that is perfect for her, and she does great with that too. So just depends. Obviously, a machine of that caliber, it's going to cost a little bit more, but it opens up your door to that business opportunity. It opens up the door to having a free arm now. So now we have that arm that comes out to allow you to put dimensional projects in the hoop a lot easier. Bags, baby clothes, I mean, even socks, hats. Hats are a whole other thing too. You could do a hat on a 500E. Do I recommend it? Sure, for fun. But like if that's what you want to do all the time, probably need to consider something like the Tajima Sai. You could still do hats on the MB4 and MB7, but their hooping system is flat.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's a little bit harder, especially for production mode, right? Like when you're trying to do things production and fast and for shows. The Tajima Sai is a little bit nicer because it keeps the hat in its regular frame, its regular setup, so things are not getting bent, distorted, and it's rotating. It's so cool. Do we have a video on the hat on our?
We do.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we can post that.
If you're interested in something like that, remember we're Juki junkies and Janome junkies, so head over to that YouTube channel. I'm sure we'll link it down below so you can watch it, because the Sai is a very cool system for somebody who wants something really, really professional feeling, you know, without.
And I think the other biggest difference between a single needle and when you move up to multi-needles, and this probably goes across the board, is the motor.
Right.
So it's going to be able to handle, obviously, thicker fabrics. Right. So as we talk about tote bags and hats and stuff like that, many more layers. And it's gonna run faster than your single needle.
And it's going to be able to handle being ran longer, right? Because it's also intended for that kind of use. So like, again, for business, that's what you need, right? Especially if you are growing, you got to give yourself that room to grow, to elevate. You need a machine that can be ran for several hours of the day.
Like the Sai is intended to run 24/7 if you wanted to. I will say the single needle, not so much. It's a great introduction if you wanted to become a business and you wanted to figure out where your sweet spot was going to be for your business. Learn sort of the fundamentals. But that particular machine, I would say, is really not meant to run 24/7. It can start your business. It can start elevating that sort of the next step. It's not intended to be sort of that commercial product.
Exactly, and you can still make great things on that. And don't get us wrong, we're not pushing the multi-needle machines on you. It's just so you really understand the 500E,
sort of the segments or the categories,
and how they all connect. But the 500E and 550E are fabulous. We sell several of those machines, and we never hear back from anybody. Everyone's always having a blast.
They're very, what I love about these machines, whether you're a beginner or not, I feel like the system itself is very easy to navigate and to learn. Yeah, it's very
intuitive. The buttons do what they look like. The screen, once you get the ropes of it,
you can edit in the screen. So really easy. If you take the time to read the manual and learn what everything is, and I've got some videos coming up on that as well.
Yeah.
But both of these machines are very easy to use.
Yeah,
very easy to use.
hands down, both brands too. So then that brings us to a small category of a third option for embroidery, which is a combo machine, which is really fun. I actually personally own a combo machine. I personally own the Skyline S9, which is a great option. It's nice for a couple different reasons. So combo machine meaning that it sews and it embroiders.
That's right.
It's two machines
in
jammed into one.
Yep.
Pros and cons to that naturally. Pros are going to be I'm tight on space. I don't want to always do embroidery. I want to make my quilt label every so often. I just want to be able to add little touches here and there. I'm new to embroidery. I want to get started, get my feet wet in it. And 4, I have a machine, but I want to upgrade it. And why not upgrade it to something awesome that does both functions of embroidering and sewing?
Yep.
So that's a great one. And then a couple cons to that would be, you know, again, limitations on hoop size, right?
Yep.
So knowing what the capability is of each machine. And then sometimes I always like to mention that when you have a combo machine, you can only do one function at a time. So like you can't embroider and then go sew unless you have another machine. But in that machine, it's solely one function at a time.
Yep. I'd probably add another one would be the size of it too. So so on a combo machine, when you have to extend the arm out, you have to make sure that you have enough space because your flatbed is here. But in most combo machines, depending on what you get, I think yours the arm goes to the back. So you know, not a deal breaker.
Sure, just things to consider. Weigh it out, make your pros and cons list, and then there's, of course, like the high-end Janome machines that offer some combo too, like the MC17. That machine has the side loading, so it does take up a lot less space, but that machine also has a massive throat space. So really, at the end of the day, you're still taking up a lot of space on your table, but again, one function at a time. So, you know, I would like to run the machine, press play, and then be able to sew right next to it. So,
well, and I think sometimes when you have two separate machines, I think the machine that does embroidery and only embroidery might just do it a little bit better.
I agree. And David always makes that great analogy too. It's like if a machine can do a lot of things, right? It's not necessarily a master in any of them because it kind of has to do a lot of things.
Right.
So it's just a common sense like analogy, right? So if a machine is specialized to do one specific thing, the chances are it's probably going to do it better because it's designed just to do that. So not talking down on it, just something to consider. But you know, everyone's situation is a little different.
Well, So, do you have any questions for me?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. We have notes here naturally because we wanted to make sure we were talking about everything. But we talked about, let's talk about software needs and compatibility. If it's even worth it, how do I decide, does that matter to me? I feel like you would be able to
I think it's going to come down to, again, sort of your goals and aspirations in the embroidery world. So the nice thing is, whether you get a single needle or a multi-needle, there's lots of opportunities out there for embroidery software. So what that means is you can make your own designs and you can digitize them. Or you can bring in designs and you can add letters to it or monogramming to it. So maybe you found a really cute design and you wanted to say happy fall, you know, and you wanted to customize it that way. So there is software out there. Embrilliance is one that comes to mind. It comes in different levels, so you don't have to buy the whole suite, but you can sort of get your basic needs when it comes to sort of maybe re-editing a little bit, adding some words or fonts and different designs of that nature. AccuStitch is another one, that's Janome's. And so there's a lot of different ones out there when it comes to software. I would say 99% of the time, if you move into the embroidery world, and that's why we talked about being comfortable with a computer, is you're going to need software.
You're going to want to lean into it.
You may not digitize right away, but you may want to bring designs in, like I said, and do some different things, or you can cut, once you buy a design, you can layer it out and take something and add it to something else, and so you have to have software for that. which is really important.
Yeah, software is definitely one of those things, again, you just have to assess if it matters to you right away. Another thing to consider is, like Shannon said, there's layers to it, so you don't always have to jump into digitizing. And for some people...
I haven't digitized yet.
Yeah.
And I've been embroidering a long time.
Yeah, she does do embrilliance for the needs that she needs, and to rotate things and see things deeper and so on and so forth. But, you know, it's like there's so many layers to that. Like if you're somebody who's going to do logos, you're probably going to want a software because you're going to be doing that all the time.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense for you to outsource somebody to do that for you and pay that cost every single time versus just doing it on your own, not having to wait on somebody, making all the adjustments you need in-house on your own time. And then, of course, for the people who want like basic level, sure, you get something easy like the base level, and you do your couple things. And then if you ever wanted to do a custom thing, you have somebody make it, and you pay for it, and it's just easy from there. So there's definitely lots of layers. Software is not just the super expensive investment that's digitizing and learning all this crazy stuff. I learned that today too from Shannon, that there's different layers to it, and having something is very important because there's going to be a need. You know, there's definitely a need.
Yeah, usually I tell folks, you're not buying a machine necessarily for what's on the machine. Now, you may use it, and that's fantastic. It's there for you to get accustomed to the machine and use those resources, but you're not buying it because of the font that's on the machine, or maybe because of the designs that might be on that machine. Yeah. So you're gonna want to purchase. You'll end up purchasing, no doubt. But we go back to the beginning. You're gonna want to personalize, and when you personalize, you're gonna need something to sort of bring those two together.
Yeah, that's what this whole thing is about, that custom personalization of adding something that wasn't there before, right? Whether it's a quilt label, a name, a monogram, a cool design you saw online, it's all about personalization. So
one of my favorite things, and I just did this for my mother-in-law, I call it ready-made. So you can buy a tote, you can buy a quilt, so and I just put I monogrammed her initials on the quilt. I didn't make it. One day, if I had time, I will. Yeah. And she just thought it was the best thing, and it's just that little touch.
Like around Christmas time, that's like stockings. The best. We do that all the time. Oh yeah, stockings, towels, ornaments. I mean,
so you can tell that there is a vast array of projects and designs.
Oh yeah.
More than you probably would ever imagine. And there's some fantastic digitizers out there, and they're dropping designs on a weekly basis. It's crazy. Some of these designs are blowing my mind. We can link a video. Lace, you can.
The lace is so cool.
So beautiful.
It's so cool. It's amazing. You do like this water stabilizer that vanishes as soon as it hits water, and then you're left with something that's made completely out of the threads. Yeah. And it can be keychains, it can be jewelry. People make jewelry. It is so freaking cool.
It's so fun. It's so fun. So we talked about machines. Maybe we spend a little bit of time on maybe other things that you might need.
Sure.
So that's the biggest thing you have to decide is, what do you want to do? What's the purpose of the machine?
Right.
We talked about software a little bit.
Knowing your capabilities within those 3 categories of machines, which also came back to hoop size, right?
Hoop size, that's right.
Ask the right questions. Know what's your maximum. If you see a hoop does 8 by 12, that's your max. That's the biggest you can work with.
You can't purchase a machine, a hoop aftermarket and think that it's going to fit on the machine.
That's super important to know.
Multi-needles are a little bit different.
Yeah.
You still can't go larger, but you can buy different sizes. So.
Yeah, for like different projects, just because the machine operates a little differently, but you still have to be really smart to it.
Yep.
But yeah, so knowing your limits and things like that. And then number 3 kind of comes down to budget, knowing who you're buying from, educational support, somebody guiding you through the things that you might not know right now. That's the super important thing, because embroidery is so fun, but there's a lot of things that come into play.
And that's what we're here for.
Yes.
That's what we're trying. We master this so that we can help you when you have a little bit of a hiccup, or maybe you just have a bunch of questions and you don't know sort of which avenue to go, whether it should be a single needle or even a multi-needle. We're not here to sell like the most expensive thing. We want to make sure that you're happy with your purchase.
Of course. It's the pairing. We call ourselves matchmakers. We're always trying to match you with the right machine. So number 3 comes down to the most important thing to picking a machine is your budget, what you're comfortable with spending in respect to what you want to do, and then us hearing you out and being like, I really think you should go for the MB4 or the MB7. So I'm going to tell you, yes, this could do it, but I think you'd be better here. Do you think it's worth entertaining, maybe, but budgeting a little bit more, saving a little bit more for that dream machine, and not wasting it on something that you're going to outgrow?
Yeah.
So we're all about honesty and transparency.
That's
so
right.
it's about putting you on the right thing, but you got to know what to ask for. Like, what's my support going to look like after I buy this machine? What education can you provide me with on this machine, right? So since we don't sell tons of machines, we really take our time in knowing machines, and Shannon's really great on the MB4. Really great on the Tajima. I'm here to help too on the 500E, the 550, all the machines really, but that's what we pride ourselves is like being experts in what we carry to make sure I can confidently be like, this is what you need.
This is what you need.
That's
That's
right.
right.
I mean? So it's really important to know those. And an incentive to why Juki or Janome Junkies is that's what we're here for, education, support. We have the YouTube channel, we have Facebook groups, we're always a phone call or email away. So it's important to invest in something like this with somebody who's going to hold your hand and help you.
Because it's an investment.
It is.
Like, this isn't, for a lot of folks, especially if they're just coming into this new passion, it's going to be a second, a third, or even a fourth machine.
Right.
So we know that this will be an investment. We know
course.
this likely isn't going to be the only machine that you have. And so we take great pride in making sure we're driving you to select the right machine.
Of course. I think another really cool thing to talk about right now is something that some dealers probably wouldn't mention but when you invest in any of these embroidery machines, there's always extra things to buy. So like the hidden extra expense on top of the machine. And that's just being real. That's just being real.
Embroidery is there's a lot of things that you need. Stabilizer, and we can link to the video on stabilizer.
Such an important topic.
Yeah, an important topic, but it is essential and a must-have. So you have to have stabilizer. I like to say there's kind of 3 types of stabilizer, and you probably need all 3 of them. You need good thread. You need needles. What am I missing? Maybe software.
Yeah, maybe software.
Yeah. And maybe that investment to purchase designs on the internet.
That too.
They're not expensive.
They're not. And I think that's the other addicting part to embroidery. It's like, oh my gosh, I can get this awesome, beautiful
for $1.
For $1. And then you have a million built-in designs.
There's a design that I purchased, I think, for a couple of dollars, and I have made lots of them, and so it just becomes significant.
Exactly, and it pays it back, especially if you're doing it for like production mode too. Other things to consider as extra hidden things are additional hoops. And or any furniture stands that you might need.
That's right.
So hoops definitely is a big one when you're buying multi-needles. So if you want to do hats, if you want to do...
Well, the single needle, what I love about the 500 and the 550, it comes with 4 hoops.
I know.
Already. So
it's
like,
so great.
Could you? Yes, there's definitely optional accessories after that.
Yeah.
But they give you sort of those main sizes that you're going to need for all of your designs.
Right.
When you move into the multi-needle, like you talked about, there's other brands and there's other hoops. Like I said, you can't go larger.
Right.
But
there's other hooping systems. There's other style hoops.
There's magnetic. There's fast frames, and so there's lots of different things depending on what you're sewing, if you're floating, if you're not. So
exactly. And like if you're getting into really tight areas, it would obviously you can do it.
Would be good for that.
Exactly.
Versus a magnetic hoop, you may not be able to get it in that pocket in the front of the tote.
Exactly. So those are extra things that you have to also consider. That's no secret. I mean, it's just a part of the hobby. It just comes with the gig. And then frames and stands, of course, so particularly on the multi-needle machines like the MB4, MB7, Juki Tajima Sai. Those machines, since they have that free arm, you have to have something that allows you.
Open.
Yeah, it's giving you that extra space. You have to have something where you can take advantage of that. Because if there's you're not really optimizing your space if you're putting it on a regular desk.
No, you lose out for sure. If you think about a tote and it hangs, and if you put it on a desk and you have this great cylinder, you've got this great space, well, you're limiting yourself.
You're crushing it into that area.
So the 2 that we really like is the Ava cabinets.
It's great. Lots of storage.
Love it for the storage. You have thread storage. You have some drawers.
It's really nice.
If you don't need, and it comes on wheels. Like it's professional. I love it. Sturdy. But if you need something more compact, we have the Hoop Tech, which works for the MB4 and MB7. And also the Juki Tajima Sai.
So those are 2 great options. But again, just other things you'll have to consider with your purchase. But that's what we're here before. So if you're, getting ready to either make a jump into your next embroidery machine, maybe you have a combo machine and you're like ready to dive into it more, you're experienced, you want to expand, we'll walk you through, give you that guidance that you need. Or hey, maybe you just are getting into embroidery and you're like, I want to get into this hobby, I want to do these, this is my goals and aspirations. We'll put together a list. Shannon always loves making like a kit to give you to make it as easy as possible.
Yep.
And we're here for that because we love making it as smooth as it can be, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's fun. Like,
so
I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is we probably just gave you a lot of information to think about, and really that's our job, is to do that so that you can do a little bit more research to figure out what I need or what's in my future. But at the end of the day, this is fun. People love the
it's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
Just get creative.
I will tell you, I've been embroidering for a long time, and I embroidered over the weekend, and I don't need to stand in front of my machine.
I know.
But I do.
You're like, it's just so
it just
mesmerizing.
does the work for me, and I love it.
Yeah, it's so fun. Embroidery is a really cool thing. Like I said, it's a little different from sewing. It's still within the ballpark of what you like to do, but it just adds like a whole another level of creativity.
So we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I think that was great.
Yeah, so we'll wrap up and we'll just kind of
let's recoup a little bit.
Recoup a little bit. So first, what are you doing? What do you want to do today? What do you want to do tomorrow? Do you have an appetite to learn? Is it just one thing?
That's cute. You have an appetite to learn?
That's cute. Because what I don't want is that you get into a single multi-needle and you call me in 2 months.
Yeah, and you're like, or even 6 months, really. It's just like, oh, I really kind of wish. Because once you get the bug, you get the bug.
I mean, because the jump up really from a single to a multi-needle in the Janome family is it's a couple $1,000s, and I know that's a big chunk of change. But when you think about it in the whole scope of things, that's why Boki said, like, is it worth just waiting a little bit longer to get that machine?
And I've told people that too, and I have no problem telling you that, because I would rather you save that $2,000 that you were going to spend and call me back in 6 months, and then we're going to put you on something that you're not going to outgrow, and it wasn't a total loss for you. You're putting it towards something you're going to have and probably get a second machine from.
Yeah, you will. So what are the projects you want to do?
Right.
Which is really going to drive then the size of the hoop.
Yep, the size of the hoop, and the route you want to go, single, multi, combo.
Apparel, not apparel, like, you know, so these are the types of things that you just have to ask yourself, because that again, that's going to drive in the end, the machine that you choose.
Right, and then like we said, budget's that last factor you have to think about. While we're on that topic, I do want to talk that we do offer financing options.
We do.
So, if you're maybe not comfortable dropping that investment right away, but you can support it and do it in a financing route, that's certainly an option we could entertain. We do it through Synchrony Bank, and we could find a plan that would make the most sense for you, so that way you don't have to maybe hold off on your dream and aspirations. There's definitely a goal that we could come up with. Something to sweeten the deal.
And if you're watching this, we may have a sale. I mean,
exactly, you never know.
Yeah, you go to the website, and sometimes Janome will drop sales, and our website will be most up to date. They're on sale right now, the single needle, but you never know.
Or just pick up the phone and call. That's always a great time too. Things constantly are changing, and I have no problem telling you about a sale that's going to happen in a week later. I have no problem getting you in on the deal early.
We have them in the warehouse. They ship for free.
Yes, So these are some pros, again, to Juki and Janome Junkies. We like to get your machine out to you quick. We know you're excited. We know you want to get into it, so we'll ship these machines out to you fast and efficient, and they'll get to your doorstep. And then of course we have all of our support to offer you, and support looks a little different of course for every machine, but regardless, it's there. We're here to help you through the YouTube, through the Facebook, through email, phone call. Shannon is always here to give you all her knowledge that she's accumulated for the years too, and that's something you'll gain with a little bit of time. But these are,
when you buy it from us, you get us.
That's right. We're like besties after that. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I'm sure you have maybe questions, or you have a lot of thinking to do. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just take some time, make some pros and cons, give us a call, email us.
Drop your comments in below. If we missed something that maybe you have a question on, maybe we'll do another video.
Definitely, yeah, we love to do that. We're always in the comments reading what you guys have. Any suggestions for things you want to see, any things you want us to focus on. I love hearing that feedback from you guys. So give this video a like if you enjoyed this podcast style video. We love these videos. They're just really fun and organic. So we have an outline, but everything else just kind of happens on. So give this video a like if you enjoyed, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're going to be having a lot more embroidery content coming soon. Just a lot of content in general. We're always posting stuff for you guys, so don't miss out.
All right. Until then, I can't wait to see what you're stitching.
We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.